And
You haven't marked the present.
what is your name?
Rishabh Raj.
Sorry.
Rishabh Raj.
Can you spell that? Acha, this one.
Rishav.
R-I-S-H-A-V, Rishabh Raj. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sahil, I'm also present.
What's your name?
Param Soni.
Okay. Okay. Let's start. It's already too late. So yeah. How many of you had a chance to look through the previous content? Okay, there are some people who want to join now. How many of you looked through the previous content? How many of you have finished the readings and the video watching things, accepting the programming assignment? Okay. How many have started the programming assignment? Raise your hand for question 1 done. If you have done question 1, raise your hand. If you have done question 2, raise your hand. If you have done question 3, raise your hand. Okay, so the programming assignments have been framed in such a way that you'll get a very good and very good understanding of the Dart programming language, and that's very important for you to uh, move ahead with this project. So make sure you do the programming assignment well, and uh, you make sure you are in track with that. So okay. So how many of you still believe that 17th of December is a good deadline for the assignment? Raise your hands. If you believe you can complete the assignments within 17th. Okay, 14 people. How many of you believe you cannot complete the assignments till 17th? Okay, sure. If most people think that I won't have a problem in increasing the deadline, but the maximum I can do is probably, let's say, does 18th 5 p.m. works for you? Or let's say 18th end of day. That is better. One, I can extend by 1 day. I mean, that's what I can do. Does 1 day extension works for everyone? Okay, okay, cool. I'll make sure I'll do that. So your deadline is extended by 1 day. Keeping in mind that I have provided a lot of content for you guys, so yeah, why not? So let's extend that by 1 day, and now let's begin into the session. I'll share my screen now. Screen 2, no, screen 1. Allow, yeah. Okay. Screen is visible, right? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so welcome to the session. This is session 2 for the app dev track project, and today we'll be looking into some hands-on about the project, and we'll be writing some code, we'll be doing stuff, and I hope by now you all have installed Flutter and you have Flutter running in your machines. If by any chance if you have are having still having problems, please ask in the group, in the channel. I don't see any doubts coming up from your end, so I assume that all of you have installed Flutter and have Flutter running on your machines. So yeah, let's begin with the session. So uh, we are working on Flutter in this project, as everyone knows. Okay, so I really want everyone to look into this website. What this website is basically it's a roadmap for Flutter. Uh, so currently we have learned the basics of Dart. We know what Dartpad is, we know what variables are, we know the built-in types. I mean, it was highly recommended that you should watch all the content provided in the previous session. If you have not still started watching, or if you are still left with a lot portion, I would recommend you speed up a little, because this is going to be a very fast paced project with lots of content coming up. So please make sure you speed up in this. Okay, Ayush Yadav, please try to come in at time because this interrupts the flow. Ayush Yadav, I marked your attendance. Okay. Yeah, so I was talking about this roadmap. So be in track with this roadmap. So the first week is basically dealt up with learning the basics of Dart, setting up development environment, and about widgets. So this portion should be clear to you guys. By this portion I mean this one, the widgets, the basics of Dart, and setting up Flutter, and the basic idea of Flutter. So make sure you go through these links. These are very well given. I mean, every data and every documentation you'll find directly from here. So it's a very good compilation of stuff, and this roadmap will really help you in this journey. So what I'll do is maybe I'll add this also here. Let's say roadmap. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so make sure you give it a good look and follow this. If you have any doubts regarding anything uh, which the content I have provided earlier could not solve, make sure you go through these websites and utilize this. That's the whole point. Yeah, next we'll directly look upon, so this session is basically about hands-on, and this here will build our first application in Flutter. I have not I mean, before this I have not tested this, and I have not prepared for this. So I'll be on the same pace with you. I'll be on the same page with you. I'll also do this for the first time. In fact, for now at least. And then if we'll have bugs, we'll have different types of things. It will like a very it will be a real time based development thing. So it will give you an idea how application development works and how things are. And somebody was asking me, do we need to remember code? So obviously not. You do not need to remember anything. If you go on to learn the syntax and the code, I mean syntax, basic syntax obviously you should know, but if you go on to learn the code of the every widget, if of you are watching, then it will be very tough. So you'll get that practice once you start writing code. So don't worry about that. That will come initially. Okay, so this is our first application. uh, I would have recommended that you guys also do this with me, but that won't be possible, I think, because it's you guys are also very beginner to this. So this is what the first application of ours will look like. It will basically display some random words, and you can mark them as favorites and something like that, and then it will be shown in your favorites tab. So yeah, so a very simple application, but you'll see how an application works, how what goes behind the working of an application and stuff, and we'll look into it. So Flutter is Google's UI. So I highly recommend that you, when you read through this, when you go through this, you give it a good read. You watch all the videos in this. I'll be skipping that for now. I'll just only look through the very important stuff. So what we will learn is, we'll learn how the basics of Flutter. Obviously we'll learn creating layouts. Sorry. We'll connect user interactions like button presses and all. We'll keep our code organized, and we'll make our app responsive. We'll have different screens, and we'll achieve a consistent look. So these we'll have these things in mind, and we'll continue. Okay, this is the video of the first code lab. So I'll include this in your assignment or your problem statement. You will have to watch this. So the whole code lab is summarized in this video. If you have any doubts, you can go over this and watch this, but anyways, you'll have this recording also, so whatever suits for you, you can watch that. Okay, so setting up Flutter, I already told. I hope you guys have done this step. So we'll be using Visual Studio Code, but obviously you can use any development interface that you want. But this VS Code is highly recommended. This is very simple to use. You can use Android Studio, you can use IntelliJ, Emacs, Vim, whatever. But try to use VS Code. It's a very uh, easy to use interface. So yeah, as I was telling you about the debugging the target device, so I talked in the previous session that you can connect to the target device in three different ways. Can anyone here just tell me what those three ways were? Okay.
A real website, emulator, or like a real device.
Yeah, yeah. So that's right, Rohak. So you can connect, you for debugging and testing of your application. You can either connect to your local host, which is your website. Apart from that, you can use your physical device. For example, here in this uh, illustration, you can see that the development interface is connected to your target device, which is a real device. Apart from that, you can also connect it to a what do you say, an emulator. I gave you a brief of what emulators are. I think you should have gone through it. uh, okay, so yeah, I hope you guys have installed Flutter. You guys have installed your Flutter SDK. So I'll just do next to this. Yeah, and I think we are good to go now. So what I'll do is I'll just mm, make a new file named, okay, I don't have to do this, by the way. I'll just open my terminal, and what I'll write is, so this is the code, or sorry, this is the command for creating a new application in Flutter. This command is same for all systems, Windows, Linux and Mac. So you'll write Flutter create, what should we name the app? So let's name it my first app. Cool. So what this command will do is that it will give you application which will be named my first app. I'll just increase the size. Yeah. Okay, so this command will give you application which will be the written in Flutter, and this application will be very basic, and this we already saw in our previous session, which was the basic increment app which increased the counter. So as you can see, the Flutter application is created in my uh, repository. So I'll just go into this my first tab, and I'll just open VS Code. So yes, so this is the Flutter application that we have created, and this is just created by one command. What I want is that now I'll just show you by running this Flutter application. So somebody was asking me that Flutter run is not working. So you have to, I mean, this is pretty much common sense that you have to run your Flutter run command in your application. If you do not run your Flutter run command in your application, how is it going to build an application for you if there are no applications it has? So that makes sense, I think. So I'll just run Flutter run. I'll use Chrome. Okay, somebody has a doubt. I have a doubt. Flutter SDK is installed in C drive. Can we make and organize files in D drive? Obviously you can do that. Just make sure you have added the path of the Flutter SDK in your environment files if you are using Windows. But if you or if you're using any OS, as for that, just make sure you have your path registered on your environment files, then you'll be able to use it. So yeah, this is the basic application that Flutter gives us. You can see this is just an increment application, and we are good to go with this. I mean, this is what we have. Now we can look into the next step. Yeah, so we have created an application. We have opened VS Code, we have copy and paste the initial app, it's done. Okay, now what I want is to talk about is pubspec.yaml. So if you guys might have mm, done this, what do you say, development before, you might have come across a package file in JavaScript mainly, which is basically a repository or a compilation of all the different packages of which you are using in your application or software, or the different types of versions that your SDK will have, or any information related to your, what do you say, your application is stored in pubspec.yaml. So basically any metadata that your application has is stored in pubspec.yaml. For example, if we look into it, the name of the application is my first app. The description is a Flutter new project, because this is the default description that Flutter gives us. We are publishing it to nobody, so it's none for now, because we are doing this in debug mode or development mode. Our version of the app is 1.0.0, so you can change this from release to release. Our environment SDK version is this. We are using Flutter. Our SDK is of Flutter, and then here you can add different packages. Remember the pub.dev that we talked about in the previous session? So whatever third-party packages or native packages you want to use, you can add them directly here with their versions. So let's say you want to use a pub.dev. I'll just show you, that's better. So let's go to pub.dev, guys. So let's say I want to use maybe Google APIs. So I'll just go to, so here you can see it's available for all the platforms. It's available for Android, iOS, Linux, Mac OS, web, and Windows. So you can see it's so most of the packages now are available for most of the platforms, but some outdated packages you'll find that they are not available. No pubspec dot on running the command Flutter code. So yeah, that's what I talked about, Shivangi. First you have to the command should be run from the root of your Flutter project. Yes, obviously. So you have written the solution of your question itself in the message. So you'll have to run the command from the root of your Flutter project. That's what I talked about. First you have to create a Flutter project, then only you can run the Flutter command, because if you have no application to build, what will the Flutter command, Flutter run command build? I mean, just think about this, and just first of all create the Flutter app, then run it. And guys, I will not recommend you to do this in sync with me. Just listen to the session, just be with the session, that should be enough, and then give it a try after that. So as I was talking about this, you'll go to installing. If you want to install, then you will go to this Google APIs, you'll copy this, and then you will just paste this here. Once that is done, if you just restart your app, it will compile it with that. So we don't need this now, but yeah, pubspec, so you get the idea of pubspec.yaml. It's basically a compilation and a repository of all your metadata and stuff. So yeah, okay, next, where were we were looking into this. Okay, pubspec.yaml is done. Yeah, I think we don't have to look into analysis options.yaml for now, that's not important. Now comes the brains of the Flutter application, or the, so whenever you open an application in your Flutter, for example, let's say we built this application, so we got this page, right? So where is this page coming from? That basically comes from, you'll find a lib folder here, and you'll find a main.dat file. So whenever a Flutter app is run, the first file that gets executed is the main.dat. So main.dat is the, like, the Kickstarter of the Flutter application. Whatever you write here will get directly evoked in your first, in your first screen. That's it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, so lib main.dat, the first kicker screen of the Flutter app. Here I'll give you an idea of what the important and the remaining files are. For example, if you go to the Android file here, guys, is it visible? Is the interface visible, or should I? I mean, should I increase the size? I'm not sure
Visible,
if I.
visible.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, Chinmay Anand is here now. Okay, so Android, if you go to this Android folder, you will find, so what this Android folder is so what Flutter does, it basically, as I explained in the previous session, it compiles the code natively. So you'll have two different folders here, one for Android, one for iOS. So this Android folder, it's the native compilation folders for Android SDK, and this iOS folder is the native compilation folders for iOS SDK. We don't need to go deep into this right now, but let's say in any exceptional case, Flutter does not have any support, has a support for a specific feature that you want to implement in your app. That will be highly rarely, but let's say that's not possible. So what you can do in that case is you can go directly into this Android file and you can change that in this folder itself. I mean, that will get changed for your Android devices, and you can go to your iOS file and you can do that here itself. So that will again get changed for your iOS devices. So this is the benefit of Android and iOS folders, and this also has a lot more benefits which you'll get once you start developing. So there are different other files also for Linux, for Mac OS, for Windows, for web. So all of these have the same purpose that I just mentioned. So, yeah. Okay. So we talked about main.dart. As you can see here, main.dart. So I'll just give you a overview of what exactly this code is written here. So I think, yeah, I mean, let's not go into this now. Let's go into the demo code. Okay. So we are importing material.dart. So Flutter basically has a material themed class which has the material designs. For example, every framework has their own material designs. Flutter also has its same. So basically, material design is the natively provided design components provided by Flutter, which you can directly import and use. So we are importing this Flutter material design to use in our app, and then this is the first function that gets executed, the run app. So if I press the run app, this is the function that will get executed on your application, and this will be run. So you can see the run app is calling the class my app. So this is a class my app which we are implementing here, and you can see this is a stateless widget right now. Why is it a stateless widget? Because you'll see it just contains this. If we go here, so this my app widget is basically the home page. Sorry, I'm very sorry, this is the app bar. So the my app widget just contains the app bar. So the app bar doesn't needs to be changed at any time, so it is stateless. You can see. Next, if you look into this my app widget, I'll just remove this comment. This is making the code look very lengthy, but it's not. It's a very short code. Okay. Okay, that makes it look clear. So you'll see that this my app is basically the whole screen of this what do you say, application, and it's calling this another class named my homepage. Now you'll see that my homepage is a stateful widget. Can anyone tell me why is the my app a stateless widget, and why is this my homepage a stateful widget? I would need answers from you guys. Can anyone just
Plus
give
the
an
one
It's
is
like
click
we can change locally.
Okay, so yeah, you're correct. So why is it stateful? Because we are changing the state. It's as simple as that. We are incrementing the state here. We are changing this, we are clicking the button and the state is getting changed here. So that's why it's stateful widget. It makes sense, right? And let's see what all does it have. So you can see this this my home page has a string title, which is basically this title, I mean this Flutter demo homepage, and this has a counter. So what is this counter getting? So it's this counter is getting incremented here, and you'll see when this increment counter function is called. If I go and show you, so this counter function is called when we have a floating button that is getting pressed. I totally agree and understand that this can look a bit overwhelming, I mean, at the beginning, but trust me, this is very simple and very easy once you go and look it on by yourselves and you have a good look. Then you'll find that it's very intuitive and it's very simple to understand. So yeah, you can see that. Another thing, if you want to change any state of your widget or your variables in Flutter, you have this set state function. So what does this set state function do is that it is used to change the state of the what do you say, the application for the I mean the widgets and the, somebody is here now, please don't be late to the meeting, guys. So it, so the set state function changes the state of the of your variables or your widgets for the whole application. For example, if I would have written this without the set state function, let's say I would not include the set state function here, and I would just have written this like this, and let's say what happens, I'll just hot reload the, sorry, hot restart the application. So once your terminal is running, you can just press small r and your application will get hot, what do you say, hot hot restart, hot reload, sorry. So now you can see I have removed the set state, and when I'm clicking this button, the state of the application is not changing. Why is that? Because we are not calling this set state function. So this state function is a natively provided function by Flutter. You cannot change the definitions of this function, and once I add this here, you'll just see the magic happens. So if I just hot reload again, and now you can see it's changing the state fine. So this is clear with everybody, a thumbs up would do, or if you're not clear, just ask.
Can you please explain this set state again?
Okay, so what this set state is, does basically, if you want to change the, for example, we talked about stateful widgets. So first of all, this my home page is a stateful widget. You can see it calling the stateful widget class here. And then if you want to change the state or the current what do you say, the current situation of any widget or any or any variable of in your application, then you'll have to put that particular change in the set state function. For example, if I would have to remove this change from here, and then I would have to again call my app, you'll see, sorry, okay, hot restart, I have to just comment this, yes. Now you'll see it's not working. If I press the
Sahil?
button, yeah.
Yeah, suppose here, how do we know that which widget state we are actually changing, or which widget we are making it stateful or stateless?
How do you know means, I didn't get it.
Like there are many widgets in that app page, right? So how does it get to know that we have to change that
Okay.
+1 button
Okay.
and make it stateful or stateless?
Okay, so I'll just go through it one by one. First of all, in this particular application, what we need to do is we need to change the state of only one text here, correct? And that text is this zero text. So once you press this button, this this text should get changed like this. So the only stateful widget that makes sense to have in this application is this text over here. So for that we have included a counter, and you'll see that where this counter is being used, if you see that, so this counter is being used in this text itself. So yeah, I mean, this is how you know where you have to change, because first of all you'll have to take a decision where to use stateful or stateless widget. Once you take that, then you'll just have to see to it that you're making the you're defining variables properly, you are, and then you are, I mean, just calling that particular variable where it has to be called. For example, if I just remove this variable from here, it, I mean, it makes sense, it should disappear from the screen itself, screen also, right? You can see the text variable is gone from here. I mean, that makes complete sense. So I think that should clear the doubt for now. If you have any if you have further doubts, we can take that at the end of the session. Okay, so yeah, this is basically a overview of the main.dart demo application. You can see you have whatever you see on this particular screen, all of that you have on this file. So let's move on to our or our code app, sorry, our code labs. Next is this main.dart file which they are providing us. What they want us to do is they want to generate the random word generator. So for now what we'll do is we'll basically just copy this and then we'll go here and we'll just paste this. So you can see you're having some errors. So what are these errors basically? I'll just explain to you. So we have imported certain packages here in this main.dart file, but we have not mentioned them in our pubspec.yaml file. You can see there are no packages. Where did it go? Yeah, here. There are no packages apart from this Flutter lints. So this is creating an error. It cannot find these packages in your particular application. So what you'll have to do, so whenever you have a certain these kind of cases, you'll just have to go. So you can see here we missed a step in pubspec.yaml. Just what we'll have to do is we'll have to copy these two packages that we are getting errors for, and then we can just simply just paste this after this. And once this is done, you can just restart your app. And once you restart your application after mentioning or adding different packages, it will take some time to get those, install those packages also. As you can see here, those packages are getting installed, and those packages have been installed now. You can see here the English words, you can see a + sign on English words and a + sign on providers. So those packages have been installed, and if we see the app now, so this is a app. Okay, so this is what the app looks right now. So what it is doing is that it is generating a random word, and this is how the view looks right now. I'll just again go through the view. So you don't have to know everything right now. Just be with me in this session and be on the same page with me, and it will be fine. So as I talked earlier, every the basic building block, or this every app page has a material app. Every page also has a scaffold, as you can see here. So if you see, it has a material app. The name of the app is Namer app. So is it Namer app? Yes, it's Namer app. You can see right over here. So what I'll do, guys, I'll just maybe go like this. Okay, yeah, that's better, I guess. Yeah, so you'll see this as a Namer app, and I'll change this to my first app, and I'll just do a hot reload, and you can see the app name is also changed. So what it's doing is that it's the material app is basically the whole area of the the whole canvas. The material app is the main canvas, scaffold is this white screen canvas. So that's what it is. Then you can see this has a title and a theme. So here you can change the theme upon whatever you like. Here currently it's deep orange, maybe let's change it to green. You won't see any change now because we are not using any theme based data on our page, but yeah, it will work when we do that. So you can see this is calling this my home page. And again, what is this my home page? This my home page is a stateless widget. Now why is it a stateless widget? We'll look into it, but let it be for now. It is a stateless widget now because it is not giving you any any different what do you say, any different word for now. It's only getting stuck to a current word, and we'll see how we can implement the stateful widgets and how we can have what's being expected to us. And but right now it's only giving you a particular word. So let's say I wrote this as word and I want this as uppercase. I have done some changes. Let's see if it works. Yeah, so it works, guys. You can see a random word has appeared, and it's in uppercase. So that's the first part of this. We have successfully done pointer 3. Next, going to part 4, which is adding a button. So what what is, I think everybody is familiar with what a button is. If you press a button, then some action will be triggered, and you can direct that action call, and you can store, I mean, you can do whatever you want after pressing a button. There are different types of button presses: one tap, two tap, triple tap, long hold. Then there are also a few more. Okay, so this we already did. We changed this text here, and we saw what was happening. Now we'll add a button, guys. Okay, let's add a elevated button here, where I this time I'll not just copy paste the code. I'll write it and I'll show it to you, so that it so you guys get familiar with. So you'll see, if you write code in Flutter and if you just write the initial widget names, you'll get these suggestions. I'll import this Flutter button, and this is giving me 2 default compulsory props. So what are props, guys? I think if you don't know, props are these inner parameters that you have in a widget or any function. So basically the compulsory props of elevated buttons are on pressed and child. They can have more props other than this, but these 2 you'll have to you'll have to declare at any cost. So let's say I don't want to keep a on pressed function for now. So what I'll do is what they have done. Okay, so they have just printed the button pressed thing. I think that should be fine. Let's do that itself. So what they're doing is, if the button is being pressed, they're just printing this, button is pressed. Yeah, that's what they're doing. And in child, so as I talked earlier, that everything has a hierarchy in Flutter. So in widgets also there is a hierarchy. For example, if I do this as null, and if I don't declare anything, why is this giving me error, by the way? What's it? Yeah, so it was missing a semicolon. So guys, Flutter Dart is a very syntax sensitive language like Java or C++. So make sure you don't miss any semicolons, man, because semicolons are very important in Dart. So right now I have just included the child of the elevated button as null, and let's see what happens. So you can see here there is a button on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see, right? Yeah, everybody can see this greenish tint button. So can anyone tell me why the color of this button is green over here? I mean, it could have been anything.
Because it is a themed widget, I guess.
Yeah, correct. So here we are using in the material app, we are setting the theme of the entire application as green. So let's say I don't want it as green anymore. I want this as, let's say, blue, somewhat. So, and if I do this, you can see, right, it's somewhat the same. Yeah, it is the same color, and the color has changed. So yeah, the material app declares the theme for the entire app, and if you want different themes for different apps, different sections of your app, you can definitely do that. You'll have to define theme wherever you need the theme to be changed. So right now you can see the elevated button doesn't has anything. It is because I have declared the child to be null. Now what I want is that I want a text to be displayed inside this button. So I'll just write press me. And does it work? Yeah, it does work, obviously. If I press this, you will see a callback is triggered, and it's printing this button is pressed. so the expected behavior is getting triggered. So we are in track for now. I think that should be clear. Okay, this is done. Okay, this is done. Yeah, now let's look into our functionality. So what we want, guys, what did we want? So if we click this button, what exactly do we want? uh, can anyone drop a text on the group? What do we want if we click this button? What do we ideally want?
A pop-up will come.
No, we don't want that in this application. Yeah, new word to appear. So right now if we click this button, this word is not changing. So we want the word to change. And uh, for example, so I didn't talk to you about how this word is getting changed. So we are importing a package named English words, and this is providing random words to us. So that is a thing that the package is doing. It's nothing related to us, so we'll not look into that in details. But what we want is that whenever we press this button, we should have this what do you say, this word to change. So what it's doing here is that, you'll see, where did it go? Yeah, it's creating, not there. Okay, so right, these things we have already done, guys. You can see this button press and adding the text, this is already done. I would highly recommend that you, after this session, you go through this link and you'll find that the documentation of every line is in very details. So whatever you have doubts, you just read through everything, and that will help you a lot. So yes, now comes the next part. So what it's doing, that it's asking us to add a new function. What this function will do, let's see. So where is my, this is my, okay, so I have added this function. And what intuitively does this function tell you? So there's a function named get next. So basically it will call the next word, or let's say get the next word. So you can see it's again updating the current variable that we had. So what was this current variable? This current variable is basically this word itself. You can see where we are using this current variable is here. We are using this current variable right here, and that is implementing this, I mean through this. So once you do the current so this, when we call this get next function, this will just update the current variable to our to be the next word. So let's see what's next. Okay, now instead of printing the button is pressed, we want this function to be triggered. So what we can do there is that let's say we want print next to also be there, but we also want this get next. Okay, so that makes sense. So we are basically calling this get next function, and we'll see how this works, if it works or not. Let's say, okay, so here we are, guys. I'm pressing this button and the word is getting changed. That makes sense, right? I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. Now a doubt that you might have is that you might ask me that we are using stateless widget here, but still the state of this text widget is changing. I mean, it's a very fair doubt, and please don't get confused here, because above you'll see we are not exactly, this text widget is calling this current variable, which is a part of a stateful widget. So which is a part of this change notifier thing, which is a, I mean, which is a stateful widget. So don't get confused. I mean, this whole homepage is stateless. For example, if you want any other thing apart from this word to change, it won't. until and unless you follow this same procedure. But what's happening right now is that this text is basically calling a different variable outside of this class. So you can see it's calling this current variable, which is defined as in this my app state class, and this my app state class in turn calls a change notifier, which is basically a stateful widget. So that's why this functionality is happening here. For example, let's say I declare a new variable, let's say name, and I write it to be as Sahil, and let's say I write void change name function. And so yeah, so what I'll do is that if I press this function, let's say my name should be not Sahil. Okay, so what it ideally should do is the same thing. So let's say instead of calling this current, we are calling this name now, and let's remove this, we don't need this. Okay, let's say what it works right now. So also we'll have to change this function call here, because we want the name to change, not the current variable to be updated. So if I change this, yeah, it's getting not Sahil. And let's say if I am having not Sahil, and if I want to change it back to my name again, so what I'll have to do is I'll just have to add a what do you say, if else, yeah. So basically Copilot does the work for me. So if I do this again, see, you'll see now this is what the expected behavior that we wanted. So that's how this thing is working over here. We don't need this now. I'll just comment this. We'll have what do you say, current as, let's keep it as camel case get next. Okay, so now you can see it's working. We have camel case and it's working as we expected it to work. So we are done with adding a button and adding the functionality to the button. Now we have the functionality of the app. Some functionalities are remaining. The favorite thing is remaining. We'll see how to do that. But now what we want is that we want to make the app look prettier. I mean, that's obviously a requirement for applications these days. One who would like to use a badly built UI app. So right now we have something looking like this, but what we want is something looking like this. Okay, so let's do this. So let's start with what they have done is they have added this appstate.current in the home page. So let's just copy paste this whole thing and I'll just explain you what it's doing exactly. This is the class of home page extending the stateless widget. Okay, I think that should work. Yeah, so yeah, it's working as we expected it to work. I'll just give you an overview. So again, scaffold is the whole white area here. The column, we are using column because we want these to come in a column view. You can see here these are coming one below the other. What if I change this to row? Let's see now you can see this view has changed in a row fashion. So I would highly recommend you guys play with it a lot and explore stuff on your own. You'll see there is a lot of stuff to explore once you start this. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it as camel case. We were using camel case. Okay, okay, right after that, so now call up the refractor menu in the VS Code and right click the text of piece you want, text in this case, and refractor down to. Okay, so what they are basically doing in this code lab is they are telling you that they have text here, right? So they have text here, but they don't want to use text. because text is looking very ugly right now. So what they want is they want to replace this text widget in the application everywhere with this new widget, that is, what's the name, big card, if I am correct. Okay, let's see what exactly they are doing. I think they are doing this itself. They are refactoring the text with the big card. Am I still there in the meeting? Can you guys hear me, right? Not disconnected? Hello? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so they are creating a new widget, big card. Okay, so let's do that and we'll see why they are doing that. They just want to have a good a good view, so they're changing this widget pair. Okay, makes sense. Why not? Big. Okay, I don't think this will work. Am I not getting this? Yeah, extract widget, big card. Okay. Once this is done, so we have changed our big card. This automatically creates a new card, big card, at the end of the file. That this class looks something like this. Okay, let's see if we have that big card class. So you'll see we have this big card class in our file, and if we just hot reload our function. Okay, so the idea is that it's wrapping up, it's extracting your current widget and it's creating a new widget out of that in another class. So that's what it's doing. You can see we are doing the same functionality right over here. We are calling the text as a camel case, but the thing is that we want this as a separate widget. Why is that? Because we want to customize this. We want to customize this particular text. That's why we could have done this over here itself. I mean, instead of defining this new widget, but for writing good code you should have, I mean, some, I think I just got disconnected. Hello, am I there?
Yes.
Okay, I lost connection, right? Okay, so what was the last thing you heard? I think I lost connection for some what. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello. Hello, am I audible now? Is it fine now, guys? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, Sahil, it is audible.
Okay, nice. So what was the last thing you heard?
You were telling about this big card and to write a good code, something like this.
Okay. So to write good code, you should have good, good customizations and good. So let's say if we did not do this thing and we just wrote this code once and for all here itself. So let's say now we needed to use this code again somewhere. So we couldn't have done that. We for in that case we would have to just write that code again, so that makes the burden a lot and that makes the code very dirty. So what we should do is we should create a custom widget and we'll call this widget whenever we need now. So this is what exactly this thing is doing. Okay, now this is done. We are done with the new widget. And now comes the theme. So we'll just play with the theme and see what it happens. So for every widget, I forgot to mention this, every widget has a build function. So you'll see that whenever a widget is called, this build function is the first thing that gets rendered on your on your screen for a widget. For example, when I'm calling this build big card widget here, so this build function will get triggered for the rendering, and you're seeing there's only a text in this build function. So only a text is getting displayed. Right now we'll be changing the build function so that we have a couple more customizations. So I'm just copy pasting this over here. So what it's doing is that, see, it's creating a theme variable. What is this theme variable? We'll see. So this theme variable is the same which we had defined here. As of here, it's importing from there, because you'll see it's just calling that, and we are using the primary theme color over here. Okay, okay, sorry, this is not exactly the theme color that we defined there. This is the theme color of the native app. So again, you'll see we are, instead of a text, we are wrapping the text in a card. And what a card is, I think I've lost my connection. Okay, is it audible now, guys? Okay, no, I got disconnected again. Yeah, right now it should be fine, right? Thumbs up or not? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was talking about this. So we have wrapped this text widget in a card. And why is that? Because we just want the view to look beautiful. So we have wrapped this in a card. We have provided the color of the card as something. We have, so you can see the card has a child. So this child is padding, and inside the padding we have a text. Why is this? Why are we using the padding widget? Because we want some padding between the text and the card. That's why we are using a padding widget over here. So if you guys might have looked through the 154 widget list that I provided you on YouTube playlist, you would know what the basic widgets are, and these widgets I also discussed in the previous session. So this makes sense. There is a card, there is a padding in the card, and then there is a text. So let's see if this works now. Yeah, so you can see there is a card, there is some padding, there is some text. Let's say I increase the padding to, let's say, 50 from 20. So you can see the padding has increased a lot, but for our purpose, let's keep it 20 for now. Let's do this as camel case, and it's giving me some style option. Why not try this style? Okay, so you can see this if I do change this style, this is reflected instantly on our application. That makes sense. Let's say I don't want primary, I want secondary. You can see the secondary color is here. And apart from this, I think you can just have this, I mean, what do you say, this exploration on your own, but for now let's stick to the native stuff that we have. Okay, we have come this far, we have done this. This seems to be working. Now they are changing the text theme. So we have changed the card theme. Now they want to change the text theme also. So let's try it, why not? So here is the text theme. So guys, so again, a small thing that I want you guys to know about is that when changing any parameter of a widget, either you can directly do that in that particular widget, or what you can do is you can create a variable. Let's say I want a final variable named, I don't want this comment here, I want a final variable named this. I want this to be named color of color card. So what this will do is this will store the color of the card, and I don't want this to go directly there. I want this to go like this. Okay, and now what I'll do is I'll just, so you can see instead of defining a, the particular parameter value exactly in the widget, you can, what you can do is you can just have a variable do the same thing for you, and nothing will change. I mean, it works. You can use this variable anywhere else also if you want. So yeah, we were looking into the text theme, which is basically a style variable. And what this variable will do is that you can see this variable creates a theme which will create a text theme, and this you can see the color of the text is somewhat primary, and we'll see what exactly how this exactly looks. And here they are changing the style of the widget of the text to be in sync with this style variable. So you guys are getting this, right? I mean, this is very intuitive stuff, and we are doing just very simple stuff, right? If you have any doubt, we'll take that in the end, don't worry. So now you can see the style of the text has also changed, whatever we wanted it to be. And let's see if it's in sync with this. Yeah, so it's in sync with that. We have defined the color to be different, but it's fine. Okay. Now they are having some more changes. What is this change? Semantics label. Let's see what does this do, then I'll explain you what exactly is this. Okay, sorry, not here, it should be here. It should be in the text. So you can see here, if you give it a read, so where is use text semantic label property to override the visual content of the text widget with a semantic content that is more appropriate for screen readers. So basically it will, the semantics label will adjust according to different screen devices, and it will give you the try to give you the same render for all. It can be totally neglected for now, but why not try it? I mean, if they have given it the option to. What can be the next, I mean the next problem with our application in achieving the final view that we wanted it to be? And what was that? The final view that our application should had been is somewhat like this, right? And what it is lacking as of now, it's not aligned. Yes, it's on the I mean it's on the top left of the screen. We want it to be on the center. So let's go back again and let's change the alignment of the column. So if I show you one thing, I'll just show you the range of the widgets. For example, let's see if this column widget, where did you go? Column, yeah, here you are. Okay, we'll wrap this up in a container. Why am I doing that? You'll come to know. I'll change this color to theme background. Okay, okay, now you can see this is the range of the column widget. So what I did was to give you an idea of what the exact range or the exact span of the widget is. So I wrapped this column widget in a container widget because this column widget doesn't has a color property of its own. So I wrapped this in a container widget, and container, you can see the span of the container. It spans the whole screen. So that is just to give you an idea of what is the span of this widget basically. For now we don't need this, we just want to align the column widget in the center. We'll have, so you can see it gave me the option. So GitHub Copilot is really helpful. So you can see it has aligned the widget in the center of the screen, but it has not center of in terms of the vertical screen, but it has not aligned in terms of the horizontal. So we'll look into that, why that has not happened. You can see right here we are on track, and what we can do is we can add another widget. Does anyone have any idea about a widget that we can use here that I had talked about in the previous session? So it's a very simple and a commonly used widget. Sorry?
Center widget.
Obviously we can use a center widget. Let's wrap this up with center. Let's see if this changes anything. Voila, it changes your whole application in terms of alignment. And now if we see the span of the container, you will see that the container is spanning the whole screen. Why is that? Because the center widget is forcing the container to span the whole screen, because the center widget wants this, the center widget wants its children to be at the center of the screen. For that, it has to by default occupy the whole screen. That makes sense, right, with everyone? Or anyone has any doubt in this? Why does the span of the center widget change the whole view? Okay, yeah, please ask your doubt.
Yeah, I didn't get that why it
Okay,
has
so
to.
see. I'll just go again. I'll just remove the center. Okay, center is removed now, correct? If I see the span of the container widget, it's only occupying the whatever the fit of this of its children is, or in other words, whatever the size of its children is, it's only occupying that. But but think of it this way: what is the function of a center widget? Why would you use a center widget? Because you would want to have these widgets in the center of the screen. Am I correct?
Yes, got it. Yes.
And for that, the center widget needs to change its alignment, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. That then. Okay, what has happened here? We don't need this. We just need the center widget. Yeah. Now you can see this is working and fine. So we have achieved this for now. Yeah, next they have removed the text from the top. Let it be. We don't that doesn't matter. Next we'll add the functionality. uh, Before that, I would just like to have a very a surprise for you guys, which is a surprise queue. Your time starts now. I'll put this link in the I'll put this link in the group, and I'll close this exactly at after I drop this in the group. I'll close this exactly in 3 minutes. So it will close at 3:28. uh, Go and give the quiz. It's a very short quiz, so it can be done in around a minute or so.
आपने लिंक कहाँ पर डाला है?
Meet. Okay, so only 1 minute remaining. Please try to answer on your own. If you use any other tools or the internet, it will be your own loss. Don't do that, and this is for your own benefit, so try to answer on your own. Okay, 50 seconds remaining. This will be graded for your information, so please submit the quiz. More 30 seconds. Okay, I'll increase the time by 1 minute more. So you guys have until 3:29 to answer the quiz. Take 1 more minute. I'll close the form in another 50 seconds. Okay, another 20 seconds. Please hurry up. And this will be graded, so please submit. 10 seconds more. So there are 47 people in the meeting, but all of you have not submitted yet. So please be aware that this is going to be graded and this will affect your ratification also. So I'll close the link in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the link is closed now. Okay, let's continue. So we were let it show red cross. I mean, no worries. We were talking about this adding functionality to this button. So we have created the next button, but now we need the like button. For what is this like button used to do? This like button will store your favorites words in a different view. So let's look at it. Scroll to what it says is scroll to the my app state and add the following code. So anyone knows about so I hope everyone knows about arrays and lists. So what this exactly is, what is this line doing? Can anyone just maybe talk about it? Just unmute yourself and tell what this line is doing.
Is creating an array of like integer मतलब data type word pair.
Correct. Yes. So we are creating an array of the data type word pair or the class word pair. So why are we doing that? Because if you add different words to your favorites, then the best way to store them is in an array, and that array will be of the class of which this word is. So which is of word pair, because we are using word pair to generate random words and so on. And what is this toggle favorite? So what does this mean? So let's say if you have this button, if you click this button, if that word is already not in your favorites, it will get added, or if it's already in your favorite, it will get removed from that. So that's what happening here. You remember this piece of code that I wrote for my name changing thing? This is exactly what I was doing there, and this is exactly what it's doing there. It's checking if the word is present in the array. If so, it's removing the word. If not, it's adding the word. Then it is notifying the listeners. Basically it's notifying the different listeners to let them know that the word or the array has changed, so you also update yourself according to that. Okay, we don't need to understand anything more than this for now. We'll just copy paste this in our my app state. Where is that? here is it. Okay, once this is done, we will have this functionality. Now we just need to add the button, sorry, this like button in our application. So let's see where we can add that. Yeah, and it has added I mean, let's follow this whole implementation. I mean, why not? Okay, we have got this. This is how our application looks. We'll do some customizations if we have time, but for now let it be fine. So what I would want is that let's try to build this on our own. Let's just add a new button beside text and see how we can do that. So you can see here the child of this, sorry, here you can see the row has only one elevated button, right? But how can we add two buttons? Just add a new button, and you will see this. We can store this and change the name of this as like, and you'll see now we have two buttons. But what's the issue? It's not looking good. There isn't any gap between these two buttons, right? So let's introduce a gap also. Does this has a padding? This has a padding. And what padding can we use? Let me remove this. This is breaking it. Okay, so the parameter, so right now you can see the parameter padding isn't defined for this row widget, so we can't use that. What else we can do? We can wrap this row in a parameter, sorry, in a padding widget. So you'll see that there are a lot of hit and trial things also that is done in app development. That is basically done to, you know, I mean, you don't know everything from the beginning. So what we do is just find our way out. Okay, we have our like thing, and so you can see this padding didn't achieve what we were trying to achieve. So what it did was it added a padding above this, and I mean it has wrapped this in a padding. So if I can show you, maybe, okay, but what I can do is I can add a sized box between this, what do you say, these two buttons which are like and next. So what will this do is that it will introduce some distance between them. I can increase this, maybe let's say to 20. Yeah, no, it's not happening. So can anyone tell me why it's not happening? So we'll remove the padding widget, we don't need this. But what about the, what do you say, the padding between these two widgets? It's very simple, and it's very simple to point out. I mean, this is a very simple bug that we have here. So what we are expecting to achieve is that we have two buttons and we want some distance between them, and for that we are
Couldn't you change
introducing
the width between them, not the height?
correct. So that is the issue. You don't have to change the height, because height won't affect that, but if you change the width, you'll see it works. So that was the thing we were facing there. Okay, now this is sorted. What else do they want? So they want a heart emoticon in the like button. How you can do that? Let's see how they are doing that. So they are including a new icon date. So they are including a new variable icon of the class icon data. And again, so there will be two different this situations for this heart emoji. One, it can be pressed and not pressed. So the same thing which we implemented for that button, we'll have the same call over here. Let's see how we can do that. Okay, so you can see what we are doing here is that we are seeing if the current pair that we will be triggering our button call on, if that is already present in the favorites list, then only we are bordering this, I mean we are coloring this icons with the heart emoticon. Otherwise, if it's not there, then we are coloring this only with the border. You can see how this looks, and you can see how this one looks. So it's filled and this one is not filled. Once you see the implementation in the app, then it will be better for you to understand. Okay, just let's add this icon where it's supposed to be. Can anyone tell me where this is supposed to go with respect to the line number? After which line number should I add this?
86.
After 86, yes. Why are we adding this after 86? Because we need an icon in this, what do you say, in this elevated button. Okay, it's saying the parameter icon is not defined. Why is that? Because we have to use dot icon for the same. The widget elevated button doesn't has a, what do you say, doesn't has a icon prop. So if you do dot icon, and if you add this icon, sorry, if you add this icon, then if you add this icon, yeah, so it's asking for a label. So this widget has something like a label and it doesn't has a child. So the thing over here is that you'll have to look into the props, whatever props different widgets have and whatever their namings are, and they'll expect according to the default props they have. For example, if you don't give them the compulsory props, they'll throw an error. So you can see right now it's working. I mean, the only thing it's not there, it's the state is, or the border is not the icon is not getting filled because we have not implemented that yet, but we'll do that very soon. Okay, yeah, we just have to add one thing, which is we have to call this toggle pressed function. And why is that? Why are we calling this toggle pressed function? Because that function, in that function we had defined how will our favorites get added to the list. So in this app on pressed, we'll call this, for example, if you see now, if I'm pressing this like button, the word is changing. Why is that? Because here I am calling the get next function, but I don't want that. I want to call the toggle favorite function. What should it do? What do you think? Can anyone tell me what should it do?
It is adding that into the favorite list.
And
again, if you press it, it is removing that again.
you're right, but you're missing one more thing, which is it will also change the icon, correct? That we implemented.
Yes.
Okay, see, it works. And to give you a more clearer overview of this, what I'll do is I'll just go to my toggle favorite function. Here is my toggle favorite function, and after I have added or removed, I'll just print my favorite list. Okay, that makes sense. So if I add this, you can see the only word present is named as health wife. If I go to the next word, let's say I add this word, you can see these two words are getting added to the list. If I remove one word, you can see the word is getting removed. So it's working as we had expected it to work. Now what's next? So we are clear with this, right? With everyone? Okay, cool. So yeah, the next thing is that our application is ready. I mean, in terms of the whatever we wanted to achieve, but this navigation bar is left on the left, and we want to see the words that we are storing also in the favorite list. So we'll look into how to build that now. So this is what we are expecting to build, and so it says add the navigation rail. So what they are writing is that to get the meat of this step, split my homepage into two separate widgets. And why is that? Because one widget will be of the home page and the other widget will be of the favorites page. So for that, okay, so let's see how they have done that. They have included two pages. One is this, you can see one is this home page and the other is this generator page. So I'll just copy this due to the lack of time, and then I'll explain you stuff. Where is my home page? Here is my home page. I'll just go on and just delete this. You can see there has been a navigation bar which has been created on the left. And how is that navigation bar coming up? We'll talk about that just now. Okay, yeah, here is that navigation rail. So you can see in this page, so as I said earlier, everything is very intuitive if you look into it carefully. There is a row widget, there is a safe area. So basically it's recommended to use a safe area because it customizes your your widgets in the current device screen size you are using, so it's recommended you use that. Then there is a navigation rail. What is this navigation rail? This left widget that we are having, this is basically the navigation rail. If we change the extended to be true, let's see what happens. You can see it has got extended. So why is this? Because you might have seen in applications or websites there is a 3-dot button. If you click that button, the navigation rail opens. If you click that again, it closes. So it's there to change that functionality, but let's keep it true for now. Then there are 2 destinations in this. That's what we wanted. We want a home and a favorite. So you can see these 2 destinations are present here. These 2 don't have any functionality as of now, but we'll add that. If you select these, the selected ID is getting printed on the screen. So this is it. Next we have this generator page. What is this generator page? This is the same page that we had earlier for the home page. This they have just created in a new widget to keep it so to just keep the naming in sync and everything, but it's the same. Now we have done this. After that we have got this thing. Okay, this is done. Okay, let's say this is, yeah, now let's move on to, yeah, we are done up till here. Yeah, okay. Now what they want is we should know about the which navigation bar item we have selected, correct? If we don't know that, we won't be able to implement the change in the navigation bar thing. So for that we are introducing a new variable named selected index. And where will we use this selected index is, we'll see, we again on if the destination is getting changed, we will need to change this variable also. So you can see we'll just have to, for example, right here now the selected index is set to 0, but if we change this to our variable, so it will store the value of the selected index in our this variable, so that we can use this variable later in our application. Okay, and now we also need to set the state of that variable to get reflected everywhere. So after this print statement, I'll just add one more. What's happening? Set state. Did I copy it correctly? Oh, sorry, I didn't. Okay, let's not open this. Don't invoke print in what do you say? Why is this giving me error? The method set state isn't defined for see now why the error is coming. The method set state isn't defined for this class my home page. Why is that? Can anyone just give me a very quick answer? I mean, this is what I explained earlier also. This is somewhat you can see the answer on the screen itself. Just can someone tell me why it's happening?
Stateless.
Correct. Yeah. So changing the state of a widget means you'll have to use a stateful widget. For that, I'll just change my stateless widget to a stateful widget. Sorry, not a builder. I need a widget. Okay. Now once it's done. What's the issue now? Missing incomplete declaration. So stateful widget has one more declaration that you'll have to add, and that declaration is right over here. Okay, so they are not exactly implementing the stateful widget, they are extending the my homepage page, which is being okay, what's this issue coming up? Let me check. So we are on the right track. No, I don't think we are on the right track. We have to implement this. This is fine. This is fine. My homepage state. Okay. Did we miss any step, by the way? I think we missed some step. Yeah, we missed a step here. Yeah. Okay. Yes, we missed this step. Correct. So let's read this for now. My app state covered all your state needs. That's why all your widgets have written so far are stateless. They don't contain any mutable state of their own. None of their widgets can change itself. This is about to change. Yeah, so we missed this step. So we'll change the stateless widgets into stateful now. You need some way to hold the value of the navigation rail selected index. So yeah, obviously you need some way to hold this value that is being changed. For that, we'll have to implement this selected index. You could add selected index of yet another property of my state, but you can imagine that the app state would quickly grow beyond reason. So it's just saying that you can do this without the current changes also, but the thing is that once your app scales up, then you'll have problem using this current state in other places if you want to. So okay, first convert my app to a stateful widget. So this was the step that we missed. So we'll just hover. How do you convert a stateless widget to a stateful widget? You hover over it and you somewhere you find convert to stateful widget. So yes, you can see it has got converted to a stateful widget. So this was the step that we had missed. Okay, you can, I mean, if you have some work, you can leave. The meet will be recorded anyway. I think I'll take another 15 minutes more to wrap this up, then the meet will end. I'm sorry this has got too long, but this was a hands-on session, so it was expected that it might have breached the time limits. If you have some work, you can leave, no issues. The meet will be recorded and uploaded. Next, okay, so we were looking into this. We'll just do the changes that we had already done here. Where did it go? Yeah, this is it. So right now we'll call the SetState and we'll change the selected index to the value. So basically this is the value that is being called in this function, and we are just adding this value to the selected index variable that we had defined over here. Okay, that is done. Now what they're telling is that place the following code on top of my homepage build just before return scaffold. Okay, I'll tell you why it's doing so, but let's just do what they're asking. On top of my homepage states build. Where is this my homepage states build? It's right over here. Okay, not here actually. Where is it asking me to do so? On top of my just before return scaffold. Okay, sorry, it's telling just before return scaffold. Okay, here. So why is it so? So we need to change the this home page or this view according to the clicking of these two buttons or these two navigations. So that's what being handled here. You can see a widget called page is being is being declared, and then you are using a switch case. So you guys are familiar with switch case, right? It's only if else only, but just in a different syntax. So you can see if the case is 0, we are calling our current page, which is this page itself, and if the case is 1, we will be calling the favorites page. We don't have the implementation of the favorites page yet, but we'll have that after this. Okay, after this being done, we are ready to implement this. Let's see. I restarted application. Yeah, now you can see the button click is happening. So these the I mean the navigation destinations are getting changed, but but nothing is happening on the screen itself because we are not changing the page for now. Because you can see we are nowhere using, or we are nowhere changing the page. We are just changing these two changes are in the navigation reel is happening for now. Okay, for now this is done. Now we need to add a new page for the favorites. So let's see. I'll just copy paste this and I'll just add this favorites page. Where should I add this? Let's add this here. Okay, favorites page. Am I using the favorites page? No. So where should I call this favorites page? I should call this favorites page in the case of my favorites, correct? But nothing is happening right now because we are not implementing this. We have not implemented this widget page anywhere. So once we do that, it will start happening. So what we need to do is basically in this over here, instead of calling the generator page, which is the default for now, we'll just call this variable page. Voila. So you can see it's working. So what it does is that if you call this page variable here instead of the default page, so it's going over here and it is changing according to our needs. If it's 0, it's going to the home page. If it's 1, it's going to the favorites page. And the favorites page is just a small UI. If the favorites is empty, it's returning a center text naming no favorites yet. Otherwise, it's returning a list view that you have these many favorites and these are your favorites. So let's add some favorites, guys, and let's see how if this is working. So you can see, right, these favorites are working. So this was it, I guess, that they had in this code lab. And yeah, we are done with this. Now coming to, I'll take up doubts, don't worry, I'll take up whatever doubts you have. But what I would like to have is in for your next assignment, there will be a couple of app buildings for your next assignments. This will be one of them. You'll have to build this code lab in your own interface, and then there will be some more features to add. For example, you should remove favorites from here itself in this list, and there will be a couple more of new navigation rails to add and do stuff. So we'll look into this. But yeah, congratulations to everyone. We have just built our first mobile working application in Flutter, and this is how a real world building application looks like. Let me check if I have anything else. No, I think that's it. Now I am open to questions from your end. So whatever questions and doubts you might have, you can just raise it now. Does anyone have any doubt? Okay. Please, you can unmute yourself, or you can unmute yourself and ask. There's no problem. Yeah.
In the code, there were at many places at the rate override something was written. What does that signify?
Okay. This, right? This thing, right?
Yes, yes, this one.
Yeah, you can just ignore this for now. It's not, I mean, if we remove this, it's not an issue. But what it does basically is what I remember. Just let me remove all the overrides, and then let's see if the app gets built. Yeah, so it's not important as of now. Let's not I mean, it's a bit complex, and if I explain this to you right now, it will get a bit. So you need a pre more knowledge for that. I'll I'll uh, I'll take this up in next 3 or 4 sessions, but right now you can ignore this, no issues. Okay, there are some doubts. I coded the assignment in VS Code and the output is correct.
Yeah, actually, in that we can input.
Yeah, just let me read this word. It shows error in environment. How do I solve this error? So you don't need to do it in Dartpad. Then just what I need is the output screenshot and the dot file. So uh, take a screenshot of your VS Code, upload the output file, output image, and that should be fine. Should we use Copilot or should we write this code? You should not use Copilot, obviously not. You should not use any AI tool for now. If you start using AI tools, then you'll have a lot of problems ahead. So try to do as much as exploring on your own. Don't use any AI tool. I already told this before. Okay, if we don't have any doubts, we can close. Some things to reiterate. Please submit your assignments before what was the deadline? 18th of EOD, correct? So I would not extend any way beyond that. And then you have another assignment coming up. The deadline for that will be pretty short, 2 days maximum. So expect that to be completed before 28th. I mean 20th of December, and that will have mainly hands-on and building, let's say 2 different applications and stuff. Okay, Amrit Raj, I'll consider your attendance, no issues. Okay, guys, if we are done with the session, okay, do you want? By the way, do you want me to share this code repo, or I think no? I think it's better you guys do this code lab and have the have everything on your own. So okay, thank you guys for attending, and see you in the next session. Please complete your assignments on time. Goodbye.